The Full Melt Show is intended for a mature audience. It contains adult themes, adult content, and sometimes adult language. Listener discretion is advised.
Parents say they're excited the state is finally getting sick children the medicine they need, but it's not the kind you might think. Florida's first medical cannabis dispensary may start selling low-THC cannabis in the next few days. ABC Action News reporter Maricela Burgos live tonight in Hillsborough County to explain why one mom says a lot more could be done. Maricela?
Some say pills are not working and that these families desperately need more. Florida's first medical cannabis dispensary has the green light to grow, process, and dispense low-THC cannabis and medical cannabis. But this Hillsborough County mom says it's taken too long and it may not be enough.
This is something that should have happened 2 years ago. So while this is a great thing, what comes next?
Renee Petro's 14-year-old son suffers from a rare form of epilepsy, and she believes medical marijuana will improve his life significantly.
I've witnessed my son on around 70 milligrams of THC oil a day, and what I see is a happy, healthy, healing brain.
She'd like to see health and wellness centers in Florida patterned after Jaden's journey, a medical marijuana dispensary in California she's taken her son to.
You go in and you have the support of people, and they're going to be there to help you. Why? Because they understand.
She says today is simply a step, but she'd like voters to help patients take leaps toward legalizing medical marijuana on November 8th.
Just think, what if you were in my situation, watching your loved ones suffer every day, and you know that there is something that's out there that could help.
That dispensary that we're talking about is located in Tallahassee, but I went to the company's website, and it did mention that they are going to open offices in the Tampa Bay area. Reporting live, Maricela Burgos, ABC Action News.
It's the Full Metal Show.
Are you high? What are you talking about?
This is the Full Melt.
The Full Melt Show. A marijuana discussion about news, culture, politics, and lifestyle. FullMelt.com. Toll free. 844-420-TALK. 844-420-TALK.
All right. Thursday comes, and here we are again with another edition of the Full Melt Show. I'm Steve Green. With me here in the chair next to me is Mad Blaster by night.
That is me. Yes, that is I.
And, this thing in Florida, that's big news. It's painful.
I mean, it's groundbreaking for, you don't really see that a lot in the southern states.
It's painfully slow in coming down there.
But it's there, and that's all that matters.
No, it's not all that matters. It's not all that matters at all. And that's really what the crux of this show is about. It's not all that matters at all. Because in the first place, this is the least that this state could do. This was the state pandering to the crowd that was saying, oh, the kids. They saw the Sanjay Gupta specials, right? They saw this. Have you seen Weed and Weed 2 and Weed 3? Have you seen those?
Yes, I'm familiar.
Okay. So I've had Sanjay on the show. And I think it was right after Weed 2 we had him on. And, it was actually right before Weed 2. But the whole point, the whole purpose of Gupta doing these specials was to turn people's heads like they did in Florida. However, all they did was buy the bait on the kids, right? Really, the only thing that you can do is get, I'm pretty sure this is only for people with epilepsy. I don't know. I have to double check that now because I don't want to stick my foot in my mouth. But this is what it's based around. There's not much more than that available. It's low THC cannabis, and I still, to this day, have a problem with the idea that these people in some way want to demonize
the THC,
the high that's associated with THC because. Like, let's just say, for example, if you have a kid, right? Excuse what What is that?
That is the True Blue that just dried. That's
you gotta warn you.
I'm sorry. I didn't know. I didn't know it was on
there
the warning
no
list.
warning associated.
Warning.
Yeah. Oh, that's bad.
Anyway, demonizing the THC content.
When you demonize the THC, the whole idea, again, I'm using the analogy of a kid breaking his leg. Kid breaks his leg, and then you take him to the hospital, and they put a cast on it. But in the meanwhile, what are they going to do? They're going to give him some pain medication, right?
I mean,
yes,
yeah.
Yes or no?
That is.
That's all I need is yes or no. So
yes.
Yes, they're going to give him some pain medication. Is the pain medication likely to get him high?
Yes.
Okay, then what's the freaking deal?
That's where I'm at.
I mean, in this instance, we're talking about children who are having something much worse than a broken bone, right?
Well, I'm also thinking of pains that aren't
No,
really the physical
you're going
realm.
off the subject. I'm asking a question. So I'm saying that if these kids are going through with these epileptic seizures that they're having. Are you familiar with intractable epilepsy?
Yes, I'm familiar.
So have you seen these kids having 200 seizures a day?
Yeah, yes.
100 seizures a day.
I've supplied for patients that have seizures
and
such.
So if you've got a kid that is in this condition, I mean, at least the kid with the broken bone, the worst that could happen is he doesn't heal right? Or maybe there's an infection that develops. That's the worst that could happen in that situation, unless it's a severe fracture. I mean, it's just a standard break. It's just a crack in the bone. It's still a break. But in the worst situation, that kid's fine. You're still going to get him high, though, right? You got a broken bone. They're going to give him pain medication that is going to alter him or her.
Get gender specific now.
In the Florida instance, these kids are in so much a worse condition, and the medication that's available to them to fix this, none of it's worked. So they're left in this situation where these kids having these constant. Can you imagine having your own child in this constant state of seizure and having no answer to it? Now, that's the pressure that was on the Florida State's legislature. But why are they so concerned once they had passed this law? Why has it got to be so low in THC? Now, the answer that people are going to scream, the first I can think of the first answer that's going to come back, and they're like, look, THC is dangerous to young growing brains. That's what they're going to say. The science says that there's a correlation, right? It's not proven. There may be a connection between some brain development issues. Excuse me. I guess no. You keep that.
Yeah, you don't need any more of this.
Over time, some
baby puffs.
We're talking about some research that talks about decades of looking at youngsters, because they're not looking at infants. They're not looking at. They're looking at kids that started smoking in their teens or even sometimes in their younger than 10.
A lot of the brain forming's really going on.
They're talking about this up until like 24.
Yeah.
And then they look at the extent of development beyond 24, what the impact is on average. And they're saying there's maybe a few points of IQ that could be lost. We're talking about an 8-point difference in the averages between the test group and the average of everybody else.
That's not bad, man.
Well, the thing is that it's so small that it's. I'm just saying the weight and the evidence behind the theory that we're so concerned about these kids getting high. It's just so disingenuous when you're going to take that same kid with a broken bone and give him some kind of narcotic,
some sort of addictive narcotic, nonetheless.
One that's much more dangerous than cannabis would ever be, and that's what my whole point is. It's disingenuous from the start. Yeah, don't give me that thing.
My bad. Try to pass to you.
So it's not genuine in form. And again, this props up greed. This is all about greed because it's part of the drug war message.
I blame pharmaceutical companies.
These kids that are getting this stuff from Florida are getting a very narrow part of what's available to them to fix this problem. Wide spectrum THC cannabis concentrate in a tincture form is perfectly acceptable to give to these kids for this problem. It's much more effective. Ask the people that have gone to Colorado. Ask the people who consider themselves medical refugees from their states because they can't get this and they've got this kid in constant seizure. Look, if I can't take him to the hospital to fix this, where can I take him? I'm taking him to freaking Colorado. That's where I'm taking him because that's where all the other kids are going that are stopping this problem.
I mean, it's not like it even just goes for marijuana. We take whatever answer works. It's not like we're just staying specific to this one substance. I believe that any substance that would work, any sort of answer really when it comes to your loved one's suffering, I think that's important. We really shouldn't keep that from people.
Well, there's something wrong. I mean, seriously. There's something seriously just wrong. And the thing is, the thing that bothers me the most is that I know the thing that's wrong. I know what it is. And part of this show is just trying to explain to people what that is, showing you through evidence, showing you through daily news activity, showing you through things that happened historically today and yesterday and the day before that add up to, when you connect the dots, what the reason is. And the reason is pure greed. The reason is we don't want to raise taxes on this money to give it to police because we need police to take it themselves. We need the police to go find their own money, and this is the only place we can find enough money for them to go get. And if we take that off the smorgasbord, no matter what happens, we've got to raise significant money, embarrassingly large amounts of money in taxes if you take this off their plate, if you take this away from them. And look, I'm for the police. I want the police to have the funding and the resources that they need to do their jobs with. I just don't think it's appropriate that you make them go earn it themselves by stealing from ordinary citizens under the guise of a drug war. That's what I'm pissed off about. They're stealing. They're stealing with a badge and a gun. And this is why Florida wants to keep kids in this very of opportunity for medical cannabis to have an effect on. And then if they get negative, see, by having that narrow window, this sets up a game for them because they know the window is narrow. They know that a lot of success happens outside of that narrow gap, and that other people are going to go to Colorado and find it anyways, right? And B, they're going to point to the evidence. They're going to say, look, this didn't help everybody. This didn't help all these kids. It didn't help them because you didn't give it to them what they needed. That's what the answer is going to be. But they're setting up the statistic by keeping the window narrow of what's available because it's only low THC cannabis and oil that's available. Now, you're not going to let these kids smoke it. I imagine what's the low THC cannabis for? I mean, how are they going to consume this? Are they going to? I mean, what are they supposed to do with this? I need to delve into what Florida is now doing now that they actually have a dispensary open. It's only one. But there are more that are coming, and there are more that are a lot more are coming online. Florida is a very big state. If you've ever driven down I-95, you'll know that Florida is vast. It seems like you're driving through Texas. You're like, oh my God, is this state ever going to end? Where is Miami? Miami, 279 miles away. Cripes! And then you drive like what seems to be another 100 miles, and you're like, look, Miami, 259 miles away. You're like, oh my God. It just keeps going. It seems like the longer you drive, the worse it gets. We're going to come back on the other side with more news that happened today in the cannabis and hemp realm after these commercial messages on The Full Melt Show.
You're getting The Full Melt.
If you're like us, your pets aren't just animals. They're members of your family. Pet Pain CBD hemp oil drops are great for aging as well as active dogs and cats. Some people are apprehensive about hemp treatments for pets. They ask us, what are you smoking? Absolutely nothing, and neither will your pet. Like other hemp-based products for humans, the allure is all of the benefits of cannabis without any of the high. The CBD oil has shown to rejuvenate the bones, joints, brain, stomach, eyes, and heart. And the drops contain absolutely no corn, wheat, soy, artificial colors and flavors, or preservatives. Pick some up today. Visit petpain.com or ask for Pet Pain at your local pet store. Petpain.com. CBD relief for your pet.
When you need legal help, you don't want to guess at who's standing next to you in court. And when it comes to a medical marijuana defense, it's even smarter to partner with a lawyer before you need one. Based in Royal Oak, David Rudoy has a proven history of not being afraid to take your case all the way to the Supreme Court and win. Find the law offices of Rudoy Law
at RudoyLaw.com.
RudoyLaw.com is a quick reference on your rights concerning Michigan medical marijuana
and up-to-date news.
That's RUDOI Law.com. Call 248-935-9074 now and talk about your legal needs, because at RudoyLaw.com, we don't just stand up for you, we stand up with you.
What's up with these things, Victor?
We decided to give ourselves stickers for each feature we release.
We read about 10,000 suggestions a week to create features that, as traders, we'd want to use.
10,000 suggestions? Who reads all of those?
business.
He does.
For all the confidence you need, TD Ameritrade, you got this.
We need coffee.
Got it right here.
Cups.
12-ounce, 8-ounce recyclable.
Creamers, sweeteners, stirrers, filters.
Creamer, sweetener, stirrers, filters, K-Cups.
Hazelnut, French vanilla, French roast, dark, light, medium bowls, extra bowls.
And decaf.
Why would you say that? Why would you say that? Why would you say that?
No reason.
Free shipping for awards members every day. Staples, make more happen.
It's the Full Melt Radio Show.
Radio show.
All right, so back live in the studio. Some 9:15 p.m. What the hell happened at the time? Oh, I know what happened. We got on a little bit late. That means we got. That means the Mr. Mailman's here. What's up with the Mr. Mailman thing here? Is anything important happening? Absolutely not. So we're talking about the cannabis news today because there's so much going on. And obviously earlier we were talking about this has been a big story for the past couple of days, this thing in Florida happening with their first quote-unquote dispensary going live. But I mean, if you look at and I really wasn't intending on doing this part of it this way, but just to recap some of the stuff that lady talked about at the front of the show, I mean, it's coming now. The place is called True Leaf. True Leave is what it's called, like Relieve, but True Leave. One of 6 dispensing organizations licensed by the state to do this so far. Wednesday's authorization to begin selling products was the first issued by the department. The low THC, this is the part. The low THC cannabis, first authorized in 2014, will be available to patients with chronic muscle spasms, cancer, or severe forms of epilepsy. So there you go. Now, it seems right off the bat that if you're that's the other thing that, remember I said I wanted to check into this further because before they were just talking about kids with epilepsy. Now you're talking about three categories. You got chronic muscle spasms, cancer, and epilepsy. You know who this leaves off the table?
Who?
The people who are terminally ill. People in hospice. Why aren't they allowed?
Yeah.
Under any, I don't care what you're dying from. If you're going to live for 6 more months, why are you not allowed weed? I want to know the answer to this question.
Not other things.
I think pretty much. I think you should be able to have whatever you want. Like you got 6 months. They're coming and caring for you because you're probably bedridden or something. Give them whatever they need. Why wouldn't you do that?
Real chronic cases that could also show drastic improvement by medical marijuana too. They're leaving out a real broad spectrum of things that we could really take study on and see how it affects. You
might be surprised that somebody leaves hospice instead of in a bag in a ambulatory care. You know what I mean? You could actually take somebody who is maybe going to only have 6 months to live and maybe make them live 12 months.
I mean, the main point that I'm making there is mainly the fact that we could see what kind of direct impact we're having on real terminal cases. You know what I mean? I'd really like to see how.
I'll tell you right now, most places that run hospice, I've already been through this. Most places that run hospice accept federal funds, and because it's federally illegal, you can't even donate cannabis to them. They won't take it because they're worried about losing their federal funding. How you like M-apples?
Man, that hurts my heart.
It's terrible. Although this place is the first to get its products to the market, the operation may not be too busy once its doors open because only 15 doctors have signed up to order the low THC products. So you got to get it from a doctor, I guess. And no patients are yet registered on the statewide database. So there's no customers, but the first dispensary's open. All hail Caesar.
I mean, hope you guys don't get your doors kicked in. Hats off to you.
It's just ridiculous.
Best of luck.
They can only sell this pot at these dispensaries to patients or the representatives who are registered on the database, which currently has 0 people in it.
Now,
population 0.
What do you think the difference is there between a regular dispensary experience we have here in Michigan and what you'd be experiencing down there? You think there's a difference?
Yeah, I mean, by vast and wide margins. Mr. Jace, hey, can you go to your spot, please? The studio dog is wandering and making...
He's just trying to be on the show, man. He just wanted to be known.
No, if he wants to be on the show, I could make him be on the show. We could get him to do a little speak thing. Actually, I've never taught him speak because I want him to be quiet, but I'll bet you I could get him to speak easily. So we're happy to announce that we've passed all the inspections, The CEO, raises the flag and spears it in the top of the building. And the operation will open its Tallahassee dispensing facility. So this is in Tallahassee. It's right near the Georgia border. It's in the Panhandle. Tallahassee is. It's right up there, but it's not down in the. It's not down in the.
We claim this land in the
peninsula.
name of marijuana.
It's part of the mainland. It's really not part of the peninsula, Florida Peninsula. It's the Panhandle. Its Tallahassee operation opens next week and will also begin delivering to patients statewide, according to a press release. So that one dispensary is getting statewide business of 0. I was wondering how many people are going to sign up for this. I don't know, because the problem is there's only 15.
I'm sure people are spooked, man. People really don't want to be a part of the system down there.
There's 15 doctors in the state that are signed up to do this. So how far do you got to drive your epileptic kid to get a doctor to sign for this? I mean, and then once you do...
Yeah, that's a tragic fact. Yeah, I honestly didn't think about that. People literally have to travel from where
it's
the
be
hell ever they are.
At least an hour away on average in Florida, no matter how you pepper those 15. I'm sure those 15 doctors, most of them are somewhere in Miami or in that general area. They're going to be in South Florida, between Miami and Broward County. Between Dade and Broward County, the two southernmost counties in the Florida Peninsula. I think one's further south than that. If you get down to the Keys, there's counties down there that cover those Keys. But anyway,
see, man, it's because of stuff like that. That's the stuff that makes me mad. That's why you call me mad, because I get mad.
So
here's about things like that.
Here's how they claim. This is how lawmakers see. Remember, this law is written by lawmakers. It was not written by citizens. This was the lawmakers doing a knee-jerk response to the whole Sanjay Gupta thing, right? And so this is how they did this. Our new law worked. Promise made, promise kept. This is what the lawmakers say. Look, this program has been in existence for 2 flipping years. There are 0 patients in it. There are 15 registered doctors in it, and they've already grown all the pot, and they're opening up a dispensary to the hoopla of nothing. There's a grand ribbon-cutting ceremony happening where nobody's going through the doors because there are no patients. But yay, we get to sell to all the patients through the whole state. It's a big hoopla over nothing is what I'm trying to say. 0 kids were helped today. 0.
I mean, I guess you can look at it in the long run. I mean, you don't.
No, just being realistic about it.
Don't have to be so pessimistic about it.
I'm not being pessimistic. I'm only dictating facts. I'm only orating facts here. That's all I'm doing.
No, today not everybody made it there, and not everybody was able to fill out for their patient.
No. This program has been open for 2 solid years. 2 years the program has been underway. What gives is what I'm saying. How are you raising the flag of success with this? And again, I remind you, this is a narrow window. You're concerned that the challenges over a limited number of licenses could further delay startup of the pot operations. The legislature this year passed a law ensuring that winning nurseries could keep their licenses, even if judges decided that losing applicants should have been selected by health officials. And the law allows for 3. So they're fighting about the growing about this, but they're not fighting about the patients about this. You see what I'm saying? You see where the focus is at? They're fighting about who gets to grow this crap. They're fighting about who gets these. They're in court arguing about who gets
first stomping grounds of Florida. They all want just the first name of. Is that what you're saying? Is that?
I'm saying the focus and the argument and the money and the effort is being spent in court battling about who gets to grow and
not
how many
not making it
available, getting it done and getting it on the market and getting patients to get access to the medicine.
I understand.
Safe access has not occurred. That's what I'm saying.
I believe I know what you were saying.
So here we go. The law allows for 3 more dispensary. So there's it just kind of dictates about how many patients and how. The 2016 law also allows the dispensing organizations to grow full strength pot, which will be available to terminally ill patients. So there you go. That answers that question, right? We were just talking about
the ones on hospice. Yes,
they just said they can get full strength pot. That's the only.
So in Florida, I have to be on my deathbed to get some regular, what I would consider regular THC marijuana.
The stuff that you can go to Flint or Lansing or Ann Arbor or
down
Detroit
the street to
and
Walled
get.
Lake.
No, I'm saying it's a dispensary. Well, you can go to Walled Lake.
You can go anywhere, and it's why
the stuff that you can get here over the counter.
What's the difference between here and there? Can you explain it to me?
The difference between here and there is we created the law here. They created the law by the legislature
citizens,
there.
You're saying.
Yes.
So lawmakers, okay.
So here we did it. Here the citizens passed we wrote the law, passed it ourselves. And not to no fanfare from Lansing. Lansing battled this hook, line, and sinker. I mean, Bill Schuette, with his first underling is Sheriff Mike Bouchard in Oakland County, because it's the largest sheriff's organization, I think, in the whole country. They have more sheriffs on duty in Oakland County, Michigan, than they do in the rest of the whole country. It's one of the 3 largest sheriff's departments in the nation. And we're talking about New York and L.A. and Chicago. You know what I mean? What about Cook County in Illinois? Why is that sheriff's department not bigger? What about, the counties incorporated in New York City? Come on. How is that not more popular? Why is that sheriff's department there not bigger?
Suspicious.
I'm just saying. They fought this the whole time, and so they battled this in court, and they basically, whittled the medical marijuana access down to hardly anything. This needs to stop, sir. Doggy needs to go in his spot. Jace, you need to go to your spot. Thank you. There are extra guests in the studio today, so there's extra sniffing to be done. That's all I'm saying. In the long run, more than 24 applications vied for the highly sought-after licenses, and challenges for additional licenses.
So there you have it.
Wait a minute. Let me finish the statement. More than 24 applicants vied for the highly sought-after licenses, and challenges for additional licenses are still ongoing. So they're still battling this in court about the grow end, even though they're taking it to market to no patients. It's just ridiculous. This goes on and on. Health officials estimate that about 250,000 patients could be eligible for the low THC treatment, but just a fraction of those are expected to seek out the pot products. Why is that? That's exactly it. They are afraid.
I mean, I wouldn't. I would not be on board after seeing how the rest of the nation's reacted to the medical marijuana laws, and then my state, all of a sudden the lawmakers are the ones that have piqued an interest in it. It definitely seems like a bit of a scam to me. I don't know. But that's just me, and I'm just a simple country chicken.
Well, I would have pegged you differently than that. But the State Offices of Compassionate Use Director Christian Bax testified last week that health officials do not have projections for how many patients might be eligible for full-strength marijuana, but that number is expected to be much smaller. I don't know. I mean, isn't where Florida where old people go to die? I mean, that's where I'll go to die probably if I get a chance. You would think that a lot of elderly people who end up in hospice would be eligible for this. And a lot of them are in the baby boomer generation, or, or part of the hippie generation, and would probably be familiar with cannabis.
And that's what's killing me, is that we have an opportunity to really see how cannabis affects the older generation. And,
they don't even have any statistics. They've got probably the elderliest nation living down there, the most elderly in the country living down there in South Florida. And they can't even figure out, based on their own data, their own statistics, which is readily available. They don't want to crunch the numbers to estimate how many people might be eligible. All you got to do is count the people in hospice easily and figure that out. You don't even need to do, project into the future. Has hospice care been growing or shrinking? If the answer is growing, then add a little bit based on its growth year over year. It's really easy to figure out. This is not difficult data to crunch. Why don't they have any statistics on who might be eligible for the full-strength pot? They certainly got it figured out for all the low-strength pot. That's what they seem to be growing for now. I'll bet you none of the people that are actually growing cannabis right now are growing the full-strength pot unless they're doing it under the guise of, hey, this is really low-strength over here. and we're picking it and smoking it ourselves, because that's what I mean.
I think it's kind of a stretch to say that THC has no medical content.
The whole thing is ridiculous. And that's what So here's how this story ends. Voters will decide whether Florida should legalize full-strength marijuana for a variety of medical ailments, including Parkinson's disease, glaucoma, HIV/AIDS. Why are they not included? And post-traumatic stress disorder. In 2014, a similar proposal narrowly failed to get the 60% approval from voters required for passage of constitutional amendment in the state.
And that's what I wanted to touch base on, was the people with post-traumatic stress disorder. I don't see how cannabinoids are going to be helping you out with, things that are, I think THC would be the more dominant chemical that's helping you out there. That's just me. Like I said, simple country chicken.
Well, you're absolutely right, though. I mean, this isn't rocket science here.
From what I understand, sativa, more THC dominant, that's supposed to be a more heady experience.
To
me, that shows a direct relation to the brain.
Sativa, I don't know if sativa is actually more THC heavy. I think sativa and indica are equally heavy in THC. It's just the type. It's the
Well, there's definitely a decrease in CBDs once you hit sativa, and that I think that's what the difference is once you hit CBDs, there's a direct relation to body. And that's the relation I'm drawing.
You're talking about the ensemble effect. So what you're talking about is the balance that happens between THC and CBD because they offset each other's effects. So here's the truth behind this, in case you don't know. Maybe you do. If you do, it's okay. Just for everybody that doesn't know, THC and CBD offset each other. So THC by itself would be extremely uncomfortable, likely. All by itself, absent anything else, THC is likely to cause an average person who's never done cannabis before to be extremely uncomfortable because it doesn't have CBD to balance it. CBD by itself is a heavy sedative. It'll put you right out. Absent any THC to balance it, it's a heavy sedative.
Yeah, I'm familiar with
when you put these two things together, you don't have either's undue effect. The part that would make you uncomfortable before the THC is balanced by the CBD, so the uncomfort goes away.
The part that would put you to sleep by
is now brought up by the THC. The CBD that would put you down is brought up by. So there's this balance that happens in nature, and this is why THC doesn't work on a schedule of drugs by itself because it's an isolate. And in order for you to get the effects and the benefits of cannabis as we know it, you need the ensemble of all the other terpenes and all the other cannabinoid profiles available in the plant. Otherwise, if they're not present, if you isolate just that one thing, you're going to unbalance it and make it something that it's not intended to be. And the evidence of that is this. Really quickly, you know these K2 things? And this is the story that we missed yesterday. I got to look it up now. We'll go to that story after the break. There's a story about these people, the zombies in New York City. Have you seen the zombie story in New York City? Mad Blaster says he hasn't seen the...
I can't say I'm familiar.
So we'll do the zombie story after the break. But basically, this is K2. And this was a bad batch of K2. I don't know if it was the underlying thing that they sprayed it with, they sprayed the chemicals on, or if it was the chemicals themselves. But the chemicals that they're actually making K2 from, do you know the history, the origin of where these things came from?
I couldn't tell you if it's fact or not. From what I heard, it's something that was created by the military to help wean their soldiers off of marijuana.
Nope, that's all bullshit.
That was word on the street.
Where this came from, I can tell you because I've done the research on it. This came from the federal government telling people in the medical testing industry that wanted to test cannabis as a medicine, telling them, nope, if you want to test any profiles of any cannabinoid, you've got to synthesize them. And so they would to do their testing. But the testing is absent the full cannabis profile, so it's invalid anyways, and it never works out in the long run. So cannabis and medicine, no good together. But the fact of the matter is that the people who are making the K2 found out the way that they built those profiles and are spraying these chemicals and selling it as K2 illegally out on the open market.
You're getting the full melt.
I've seen things no man should bear, and those that every man should dare. From the beaches of Normandy to the far reaches of the earth. In my life, I have lived millions of lives. I've outrun robots and danced with dinosaurs. I've faced the faces of fear and fortitude, and witnessed great beauty in the making. I've kept the company of kings and queens, but I'm no royalty or saint. I've traveled, trekked, wandered, and roamed, only to find myself right where I belong.
Jeep. See your authorized Jeep retailer for details on how you can become a Jeep owner.
We asked people to tell us something that happened in their past and something that might happen in their future. The good things were put on yellow magnets and the bad ones on blue. The results show the past was a pretty even mix of good and bad, yet the future was almost all good things. Now that you've seen the results of this experiment, what does it mean to you?
We all want to think about positive stuff.
Realistically, there will be down times.
It's great to think optimistically, but let's plan for whatever the future might bring.
Prudential, bring your challenges.
RootMetrics, in the nation's largest independent study, tested wireless performance across the country. Verizon won big with 153 state wins. AT&T got 38, Sprint got 2, and T-Mobile got 0. Verizon also won first in the U.S. for data, call, speed, and reliability. AT&T got text. Stuck on an average network? Join Verizon, and we'll cover your cost to switch.
Introducing Sacred Elements, a place for natural and alternative healing for the mind, body, and soul. Sacred Elements. It's one place, all solutions.
Registered, licensed, certified, ordained.
Sacred Elements.
Massage, hypnosis, Reiki.
Sacred Elements.
Raindrop, aroma and color therapy, body detox, ministry, life coaching, weight and nutrition counseling.
Sacred Elements. Next to the Sweet Leaf, 400 South Dorr Highway, Flint.
11 to 7 daily, closed Sunday.
Call 810-259-2570. Hey, it's Steve Green for the Sweet Leaf in Flint, because now getting safe access to medical cannabis patients in Flint, Michigan is never more welcoming. Presenting the Sweet Leaf, a brand new patient experience bringing 12 carefully selected caregivers housed in 9 separate offices to distinctly assist you with their knowledge and reputation for excellent patient care. Classes and training coming soon in the large community room. Check it out in person, 400 South Dorr Highway, or call 810-259-2571. The Sweet Leaf Center in Flint, 810-259-2571. It's the Full Melt Radio Show.
Radio show.
Look at these dudes. Yo, look, they can't even stand straight. Look at this. That man over here is twisted. And my other man over here is laid the f*** out. Oh, look, one more over here. Look at this. Oh, hell no.
You're listening to
this is crazy.
Some YouTube video
The cops got
posted
this
by the New
one.
York Times.
Look.
On Tuesday,
Y'all
33
do
people
too,
were
bro.
suspected of overdosing on K2. This is last week,
crazy.
a couple weeks ago. A synthetic drug. was
Yo,
transferred
tell
to
your
the
kids,
hospital.
please. Tell your family. Yo, if they on that K2, stay off of that, man.
It's showing footage of these people
This is,
just
yo,
all
please,
laid out.
God.
Yo,
This is
please,
not
God, this is not popping.
Look at this.
Look at this. These people are just like...
Look at this.
This guy's all bent over a fire hydrant. He says it's twisted.
Twisted.
He's just hanging on the fire hydrant. to
Murder on
stand up.
Broadway. You have another case. This is ongoing. It's just ongoing all day. Told you. Again,
So this is...
Yeah, I know. Ongoing. Another case.
So, you can see it.
Here we go. Tell you people it's not
There's red lights flying everywhere. A whole bunch of emergency vehicles that they got out here because somebody reported this New York zombie apocalypse that happened. I mean, it's a New York park where a lot of people go to buy and smoke K2. I don't know why they got to go to a specific park to buy and smoke K2 specifically. But apparently that must be the case because 33 of them had overdosed on this K2 stuff. And I'm just saying, but like I was saying before the break, this came from guys that were in the illicit drug market that were like, hey, there's these laboratory versions of these synthetic cannabinoids that we could just profile together and spray on some substrate and let people smoke that, sell out at large. This is where the K2 came from. It came from the DEA not letting people do testing on actual cannabis plant material because they would have to get it. You know where they have to get it from? If they want to do a test, if you want to conduct medical research on cannabis in this country legally, you got to get it from the Office of National. Well, okay, that's not exactly true. So you got to get it from. Ultimately, it's going to come from the a university in Georgia. Is it in Georgia? I think it is in Georgia. I think it's from the University of Georgia. They have a lab there that is licensed by the federal government to grow the federal government's cannabis. So the stuff that the patients are getting now. That started this. Are you familiar with the federal cannabis program that they started like in the late '80s, in the early '90s? It got put to sleep. It was people sued the federal government because they needed cannabis for medical reasons, and won. And so basically, some judge somewhere said, "All right, well, the federal government has to, since you're not allowed to grow it, you're not allowed to buy it, and you can't be participating in an illegal market. If you're going to get your medical weed, which we're going to grant you have an entitlement to because it's your health, and apparently nothing else is working for you, so you're entitled to do something. So you got to get your weed from the federal government. So, Mr. Federal Government, can you grow some weed?" So they did. So they started growing pot. Well, they were growing pot anyways. But it's just crappy weed. It's barely like hemp. It's just there's hardly any profile to it from us. It's nothing like you'd get here. And the weed that they grow at the federal level, they put it in cigarettes, marijuana cigarettes. They send each of these guys a tin of 30 of them a month. There's 300 cigarettes in this tin, so you get. I said 30. It's 300 joints, pre-rolled joints in a tin. It's a big round tin, sent to you from the federal government in the U.S. mail. There's a lady named Alvy Musica. She lives out in the Oregon area. She's nearly blind now from glaucoma, but she's still getting medical cannabis through the program. There's another guy, his name is escaping me at the moment. He lives in, I think, Palm Beach area. He lives in South Florida. But he has bone spurs, or like a bone growth. He gets these bony tumors that grow out. And cannabis, if you know a lot about cannabis and bones, bone growth is basically regulated by cannabinoids in the human body, the way the bones grow. The cells responsible for that bone growth are regulated by cannabis. The actual growth itself is regulated by cannabis. And this is why cannabis is effective for cancer, because it re-regulates the cell. It basically what's going on in cancer is that cancer cells aren't dying. The cells are rapidly reproducing, so they're unchecked in growth, and there is no death of the cell. The cell just stays alive. It doesn't have a natural death cycle like a normal cell would have. So where cannabis is very effective is it goes in and it re-regulates the cells, birth and expiration dates. Basically cells have a lifespan, and these cells aren't dying. What's going on? You got no mic? Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes, I have not had mic for the.
You could just say, "Hey, turn my mic on, asshole."
Hey,
just
man,
say that.
I was like 20 seconds from reaching over to your board.
Don't you reach over my board?
I'll reach over your
board.
Don't
you reach over my board.
I felt so left out. That hurt my
feelings. You can give me a reach over.
Whoa,
never mind.
Whoa. You made it weird.
Well, that's what you get for trying to touch my knobs.
It's definitely a switch, not a knob. More of a switch.
No, it's a slider.
It's a switch. I'm calling it a switch.
You call it a switch. I'll call it a slider.
A switch.
Oh, it did get weird. Okay, so we were talking about.
I was here. I'm in the room. I just couldn't talk.
Okay, sorry. I'm used to just slide the one up. Now
I'm sure, man. It's okay. You don't have any sort of love for me. I understand.
No, we love you, man.
Nobody appreciates the Mad Blaster anymore, man.
Okay, where's that?
That's why I'm only Mad Blaster by night. People stopped giving a fuck during the day.
Where'd the bowl go?
The bowl's right. What? Here, you need a lighter?
I'm going to light you up the bowl as a peace offering.
Yeah, no.
It's an olive branch.
Whatever.
But it's really a doobie branch, but it's not a doobie at all. It's a bowl branch.
Go on about your synthetic marijuana, federal, whatever the fuck. Whatever the fuck.
Oh, I found a promo. Okay, so there is a word that local residents and workers use to describe a group of drug users whose presence they say had grown around a busy Brooklyn transit hub. Zombies. They're literally calling these guys zombies. What was once a few familiar faces has turned into a tribe of strangers walking around, staggering and looking lost.
Tribe.
That's what it says. Lost in the throes, it is believed, of the ill effects of K2. A synthetic drug that officials in New York have been working hard to eradicate. The problem in the neighborhood has gotten to be such that a manager of an urban farm nearby, tired of the smoke wafting onto the property, posted 2 hand-painted wooden signs with a simple message, "No smoking K2." You had to make a sign that says, "Don't smoke K2 here." That's how bad it is.
That's like going to the corner of a crack house.
Nobody's going to buy K2 if you can get weed. That's all I'm saying. Nobody's going to buy.
I mean, that's very true. That's the only time I've ever really encountered anybody ever talking about even.
The only reason these people are going to the drugstore to buy K2 is they can't get weed, or they're afraid about getting busted for weed, because if they go to work and test positive for weed, then they're going to get fired.
Yeah, man. Stop the piss tests.
If they go to work and they get tested, they don't test the K2 because it's a different cannabinoid. It's got a different metabolite that they're not looking for in the tests. It was only 99 cents. Shit. Never mind.
I just stop the piss test, man.
Smells like R. Kelly's sheets.
Whoa.
Okay. So on Tuesday, the longstanding problem became a local crisis on this gritty patch on the border of 2 developing neighborhoods, and it tells the streets. It's in Bushwick. In the area around the subway station... In the area around the subway station at Myrtle Avenue and Broadway, emergency workers transported 33 people who were suspected of overdosing on K2 to hospitals.
Wow.
Said the police.
That's a lot of...
The powerful drug, also known as spice or synthetic marijuana, has grown into popularity in recent years despite public warnings.
That's a big circle.
The big circle?
Yeah, like 33 people.
That was just the ones that they took to the hospital that morning. The incident where.
Saying.
If you want a mic, we can give you a mic. 8 people were taken from the Stockton Street area to the Woodhull Medical Center, suffering from, quote, altered mental states. How do you know you just didn't have 18 crazy people? This is not uncommon in New York, that's all I'm saying. You can go to any subway station and find 18 crazy people.
Can 18 crazy people organize like that? Can 18 crazy people organize like that? Or do you think it's just by chance that all these 18 crazy people got together?
Hey, we are the union of crazy people.
That's what I'm saying.
This is our crazy people union badge?
I mean, maybe the
Sir,
union,
you're not allowed to be that crazy unless you join the union.
The union rep probably is the one slinging the K2. I don't know what you want.
8 people were taken from the Stockton Street area to Woodhull and suffering lethargy and respiratory issues around 9:40 a.m., a spokesman for the fire department said. Others were found in the surrounding area. They said it's like a scene out of a zombie movie, a horrible scene.
Mid-morning rush, too. Think about that.
It's terrible.
On your way to work, encountering
what are all these people stumbling around out here? You'd think that there was a terrorist attack or something. Brian Arthur, 38, said he watched 3 people collapse as he made his way to work in the morning and began live streaming the episode on Facebook. Look at these crazy
He meant to say fuckers.
They've fallen over. They've fallen down like flies. They actually posted the video link in here, which I think is the one we were playing. This drug truly paralyzed people. Even hours after the first calls came in, a few erratic people could still be seen staggering around the streets under the train tracks. Some fought back against gravity by bracing their arms on parked cars and light poles. A few people toppled to the ground. A video that Mr. Arthur streamed on Facebook captured respondents helping an unsteady man into an ambulance. Nearby, another slumped sporadically against a fire hydrant. No, he was using the fire hydrant to hold him up. He was literally bent over the hydrant just with his hand pressing down.
That's not a good size ratio.
He was not feeling good. And all I'm saying is, what happened? Oh, no. Hold on. You know what? We're going to break. I didn't even see that. Oh, it's a good thing I caught that. I glanced back and we're going to break.
Isn't that dandy? We'll be back, folks.
Yeah, we will be back. But we're not going to be doing K2. There was no K2 in that thing.
Nobody should do K2.
You didn't give me K2 earlier, did you?
No.
Please, no.
It was salvia.
It was salvia.
Full melt.
Promotional consideration provided by NoSmell.com, pioneering the storage market for cannabis users. The NoSmell patented bag technology offers users 100% smell-proof detection from even the most sophisticated of noses. NoSmell.com, so nobody knows. When placing your order for a NoSmell bag, make sure to use discount code FULLMELT and take 10% off the entire order. Learn more about NoSmell technology at NoSmell.com.
Young students are our future. They're eager to learn, eager to succeed, eager to make the world a better place. And they want to make it to school safely. Share the road, take care when passing, and always leave 3 feet between you and people on bikes. Bikes are legal road vehicles. We're all drivers.
When you need legal help, you don't want to guess at who's standing next to you in court. And when it comes to a medical marijuana defense, it's even smarter to partner with a lawyer before you need one. Based in Royal Oak, David Rudoy has a proven history of not being afraid to take your case all the way to the Supreme Court and win. Find the law offices of Rudoy Law
at RudoyLaw.com.
RudoyLaw.com is a quick reference on your rights concerning Michigan medical marijuana
and up-to-date news.
That's RUDOI Law.com. Call 248-935-9074 now and talk about your legal needs, because at RudoyLaw.com, we don't just stand up for you, we stand up with you.
If you're like us, your pets aren't just animals. They're members of your family. Pet Pain CBD hemp oil drops are great for aging as well as active dogs and cats. Some people are apprehensive about hemp treatments for pets. They ask us, what are you smoking? Absolutely nothing, and neither will your pet. Like other hemp-based products for humans, the allure is all of the benefits of cannabis without any of the high. The CBD oil has shown to rejuvenate the bones, joints, brain, stomach, eyes, and heart. And the drops contain absolutely no corn, wheat, soy, artificial colors and flavors, or preservatives. Pick some up today. Visit PetPain.com or ask for Pet Pain at your local pet store. PetPain.com. CBD relief for your pet.
Hey, it's Steve Green for the Sweet Leaf in Flint, because now getting safe access to medical cannabis patients in Flint, Michigan is never more welcoming. Presenting the Sweet Leaf, a brand new patient experience bringing 12 carefully selected caregivers housed in 9 separate offices to distinctly assist you with their knowledge and reputation for excellent patient care. Classes and training coming soon in the large community room. Check it out in person, 400 South Door Highway, or call 810-259-2571. The Sweet Leaf Center in Flint, 810-259-2571. 571. It's the Full Melt Radio Show. Wow, the show goes by so quick. So we've been talking about a lot of marijuana things today. Wanted to get in before the end of the show, and we have so little time left. Oh, damn it! Now what happened? Here we go. Hang on. This story about police are saying this, and I don't know if this is Arizona or if this is Salinas is in Cal. That's what I thought. That was my first instinct.
Good,
Mr. Unknown in the studio. Police don't underestimate the risks of edible marijuana products. So, again, this is in California. It says right here, Hollister, Dateline, Hollister, California. It says right there at the top there. Duh. Hollister police want parents to know that edible marijuana is no joke. Last week, 2 kids, 14 and 15 years old, were hospitalized after sharing a cannabis-laced cookie.
What?
Officers tell KION that medical marijuana is more potent than many users realize, and the effects from edible products take longer to appear. All this is true. Police say the delayed reaction can cause users to overdose, ingesting more than is considered safe. Now that's just poppycock and bullshit right
that's
there.
A weird word to be using in this article. I mean, hospitalized is one thing. You freak the fuck out. That's you.
Here's what I'm saying. When you start talking about safety, there is no protocol for safety on cannabis, because cannabis in the history of human existence has not killed one person ever. Regardless of the form or how much they consumed, it is nearly physically impossible to overdose on cannabis. Let's just be clear about that. So when it bothers me when it's correct when they say the delayed reaction can lead users to overdose.
That's just digestion.
But see, what I'm saying is that the word overdose is a bad term here. Overdose, I guess it's technically correct, but it's like saying this. So if you understand about the word argument, when I say we're having an argument, what do you say we're having?
I don't know, a disagreement.
Agree. Okay, most people would say a fight.
Okay.
So people consider argument synonymous with fighting. And I'm saying that if you look at the definition of argument, if you understand human speech, that argument is no way a fight. Argument is an opportunity to learn from somebody with a different point of view. So you get to hear their point of view and understand and learn from it, and maybe modify your view. Maybe not. But it's an argument so argument is a process of learning, is what it is. It's a part of speech. It's literally a part of speech. And I'm saying this is the same way when you use the word like overdose. It's got a common meaning that's not true to its technical meaning. So technically it's correct, but it's an easy go-to to deceive people, because there is no real overdose of marijuana. Nobody's going to die there. They're going to be uncomfortable for a little while and go, oh, I had too much pot. It's like saying, I ate too much garlic. It's coming up. It's revisiting me. It's the same thing. It's an irritant. It's not something that's going to hurt you. That's what overdose is a bad word. And this idea that ingesting more than is considered safe. What's more than considered safe? So you don't go, oh, I feel uncomfortable and want to go to the hospital? Is that what you're saying?
I mean, what? So
I just don't think that the word safe.
To the point where you're going to go to sleep and sleep it off.
Safe to me implies danger, that there's danger present.
Like that's the worst that's going to happen. You're going to go to
sleep.
There
is no danger.
You're going to wake up in 3 hours.
The danger is I'm going to be hungry and go to sleep.
You might ask what happened. You might.
You're going to go, oh, I ate too much weed. You know what the answer to weed is? If you have too much weed, here's a good tip for people who do too much medibles.
Bread.
No. The answer is coffee. Coffee is the natural antidote effect for cannabis. If you drink a lot of coffee and smoke weed, you're just wasting your weed.
I mean, bread works too, man. That's a good one, man. So
well, eating food of any kind.
Yeah, I mean, just
processing carbohydrates would be, heavy, process. So yes, eating food will also slow the absorption into
just
the bloodstream.
Just in case there's some first-time smoker out there that might freak out sometime. There you go, guys.
The worst that can happen is that you're going to be uncomfortable, maybe be hungry and go to sleep. Nothing else worse is going to happen ever.
I don't know. I've had some experiences described to me. I don't want to get into that.
Well, I'm saying your reaction to that could be very different. Some people are calm. They're like, oh, crap, because they know what's going on. They understand that they had a little too much weed. Nothing bad's going to happen. I just got to ride through this. It's the ones that react badly that go, I don't know what to do. I'm going to run naked in the streets. I mean, nobody does that, but
whatever.
You know who does that? The K2 people. They do that.
Whatever.
I've seen the K2 people run naked in the streets. It's weird. This idea that they are telling people is good. I think this is a good point. I think this is a good story. It's good to remind people about edibles but see, I don't think that these kids at 14 and 15 even cared. They're like, let's go get high from it. My mom's got a pot cookie. Let's go share it. That's what happened here.
I don't know if people at 14 or 15 are ready to be experiencing the full dimensions of marijuana.
Look, I didn't do it then, but I could have done it then, and I don't think it would have made me any different now than I turned out to be. I didn't do that until I was about 18.
I mean, I was specifically at
maybe
that.
A little bit earlier, maybe like 17.
I was specifically at that exact age range, and I honestly, from my personal experiences, I just don't think that any given child in anywhere in the world should just be exposed to that much concentrated THC. That's a given. I mean, but then again,
it's an edible form. It's different than smoking it. If these same two kids smoked a joint, this would not have been a report to police because they'd have gotten stoned, they'd have laughed, they'd have giggled at some cartoons, they'd ate some Cheetos, and they'd have fell asleep. That's what would have happened.
And I mean, like that's just the point that I'm making is that there definitely should be recognition for the difference in, THC content. This isn't the 70s anymore. Those same two kids many years ago.
I don't even think that's the real message here. The message here is cannabis in edible form.
I think that's something important you can take from it. That's where I'm at.
So those kids, I can tell you, never thought for a minute that this was going to take like a half an hour to work. I'll bet you money that they didn't even take that into. I wouldn't have. I'd have been like, we're going to eat this cookie and get high. You get half and I get half. No, my half is bigger. That's what would have been going on.
I don't know.
Let's be realistic here.
I guess.
I don't think that they
maybe
thought about
I
this.
Wasn't a normal 14-year-old. I don't know.
I didn't even know about edible cannabis at 14. I knew about regular weed at 14. But I was always like, oh, just say no to drugs, right? That was back when I was that young. Nancy Reagan was literally in office with, Ronnie going, look, just say no. And I'm on the other end going, this old lady's telling me to just say no. I say, just go F yourself. But still a stigma attached, and I was like, I'm going to stay away from the pot people. So people would offer me weed while walking home from high school. Be like, hey, dude, you want to go smoke a doobie? And I'm like, not really. You go ahead and have that. It's cool by me. I'm not saying I'm a snob, but why not? Why don't you want to go smoke a joint with me? I'm like, well, because I just don't feel like I need to. Like, I just don't feel like it. There's nothing drawing me there.
Nobody needs to quit that.
No, I need to. I definitely need to.
Now you're making it sound weird.
No, this is what medical necessity is about. It just is.
I guess.
So, I think it's good that these people the story's being told, but I think it's bad the way that they're telling it. You know why? Because this is told from the standpoint of police. And they're telling it in Hollister, California. Remember, California is the birthplace of medical cannabis in this nation. It happened in 1996. There's been times when the recommended dosage is 1/16 of a cookie. And when was the last time you cut a cookie? Wait, when was the last time you cut a cookie into 16 equal pieces and ingested one little piece of it? Said Captain, the captain of the police department in Hollister. When you eat these edibles, you have to be really careful about the dosage. According to police, and what they're trying to say, the message they're trying to spread here is, look,
they're
trying to say, look, if you need this for medical purposes and you need to eat it, this needs to be done in the proper way, and the people who are doing it now aren't doing it properly because who cuts a cookie into 16 pieces and eats a 16th of a cookie?
Whatever, man. Don't tell me how to take my medicine.
Well, the answer to that question is somebody who doesn't need a 16th of a. So first off.
And that's what I'm saying.
The show's going to end here. But first off, these concentrates when you eat them orally, you become resistant to them. You build a tolerance to them. And so over time, if you're taking them for pain control specifically, you're going to need more and more as it goes on. And so who needs to buy 10 cookies or 15 or 20 cookies to get a dose of cannabis that you can get in one, because you're going to get fat, and the ill effects of that might counterbalance the medical effects of doing it the right way. We'll see you tomorrow on The Full Melt Show.
The Full Melt Show is a production of TFM Media.